Leonardo here. I will play the first 20 subscribers to this channel. You can see the description section for more information on that. And so after the last video, I had three new subscribers. One of the subscribers messaged me, and we're setting up a time to play the game. And then the other two haven't messaged me yet. So if you guys do want to play me, make sure to message me because YouTube doesn't let me see who my subscribers are due to some like privacy settings unless the subscribers like change that on their own. But yeah, just a reminder to do that. So with this game, the main themes you're gonna like basically learn if you don't know it already is the difference between bishop e2 and bishop d3 in some of the French lines, as well as how white can prevent black from pressuring the d4 pawn with the queen and the two knights, and like how like a common idea there to prevent that. So those are kind of the two main takeaways from this game that I want to cover. And what makes this game interesting is that, so this guy is 2043 Fide, and he wanted to specifically work on the French defense. And so we agreed to play an unrated game. And actually during the game, like we were talking over like Discord, like live, sharing our thoughts on the moves, which is like very an unusual thing to do, but we both enjoyed it. So hey, there's that. But turning to the game here, so you have the French. Also, a quick note is actually here, Stockfish on very high depths, like 40 plus depths, prefers knight c3 ever so slightly over e5, which I thought was interesting. But anyway, so after, some moves, so c3 again, protecting that d4 pawn and making sure to take with the pawn. And after some standard moves, here, bishop d7, and this move is an interesting move. So there's two moves black can play here, either bishop d7 as here, or the move queen b6. And what's interesting here is, so white's next move, bishop d3, is a mistake, and I'm going to show you why. So the reason why I played bishop d3 here is, so the bishop on d3, it attacks this h7 pawn, right? So maybe in the future, like after maybe like an h4, h5, these are moves that are played in the French defense. At least the bishop's doing something, right? But if it goes to e2, like what is it doing? There's this bishop isn't coming over here. Like this bishop's not attacking anything on h5. It just looks not optimal. Like why is it here? And another reason why I put on d3 is you can see like this knight's attacking the pawn. The queen's gonna come here. This knight, common idea is for it to either go e7, h6, and then f5 attacking this pawn. So I might want to take that knight later. So that was why I wanted to put it on d3. And you'll see the reason why what I did was wrong. And I'm going to show you why e2 is correct, as well as a common idea here. So if I just, so this is just like a sample line with Stockfish. So he takes knight f5, knight c3, queen b6. And the idea here is in this type of position, black is threatening to win this pawn. I cannot defend this. The only way I can do it is e3, but that drops this pawn. So what the hell does white do here, excuse my language, to prevent this, to take care of this? And the idea to remember here, and this comes up a lot in the French, is this knight a4 idea. And the whole thing is here, is yes, black can win a pawn, but they'll have to sacrifice their queen for it, so they can't win a pawn. And even though they're attacking it more times than white's defending it. And the idea here is if black plays either queen b4 or queen a5, I can play the move bishop d2 now. And the whole idea here is if black really gets stubborn and plays bishop b4, I can now play the move a3, and now black has no choice but to return this queen home. So I would say those two main ideas are like the main, generalization, I guess, takeaways you can take away from this game. Another thing is this light squared bishop, okay? That's also very important. So, okay, so if I go back to the game, let's see what's wrong with bishop d3. So here he takes it, and now black is threatening to win a pawn. And I don't have, this like these knight shenanigans. So here I have to waste the tempo. And here e2 is better. I prepared c2. I was prepared to lose this bishop for a knight. I was worried with e2, like I can't stop this knight from going to f5 during the game because I didn't know the ideas I showed you until after, I did some thorough analysis of the game. But anyway, so he plays knight b4, and here I'm like, okay, let me play knight a3. At least that way both my knights are defending these pawns, and I'll be Gucci. But here it turns out the move castling or knight c3 were very important to play, and then you're gonna see why. So, and this move is a blunder. Well, not a game-losing blunder, but just a bad move. And the reason for that, the whole reason why this works now is bishop b5, and now suddenly white cannot castle. White is screwed. But yeah, well, now white's in a very difficult position in the game. I was thinking, okay, maybe I can play knight d2 sometime, maybe after taking care of this bishop, and then play f4, f5, I mean f2, f4, and then king f2. That is how I wanted to castle, because like, if white can't castle, white's life just becomes very difficult here. And yeah, so I play a4 here just to attack the bishop. And here I made another mistake, and the mistake isn't obvious until you kind of see what's going on with the engine. So here the move is a5, and the idea with a5 is, to attack the queen, maybe gain some more space on the queen side. But the reason why this move is a mistake is that you're not attacking the queen. You're helping the queen get itself to a better square. And then you can see here, my opponent did not play the correct move, but if you play queen b5, now suddenly this diagonal is even weaker than it already is, with black threatening checkmate here in some lines, not here, but in some of them they come up. And furthermore, this knight is going to come to e7, and it's going to come to c6, and both this knight and the queen are going to attack this pawn, and then black's going to win that pawn, and it's going to be a 2-on-1 on the white queen side. And white's king is also weak, so those two advantages basically lead to a game winning advantage for black. So that's kind of like big picture what's going on, and you'll see like uh, more in this game, like what I'm talking about, if all of those ideas don't really make sense. So here, queen c7, I play, bishop d2 to try to, get my pieces out, just do something. He plays rook c8. And here, yeah, so I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know if I should play knight b4 here. Like, I was kind of torn between what to do here. I really didn't know. So uh I guess my opponent and I thought like rook c1 was a little bit better, because it puts the rook on the same diagonal and the queen, and hopefully this is good. But anyway, so black plays queen d7 here, threatening, to go to this b5 square that I showed earlier. Also, queen d8 was a fine move, threatening, attacking this pawn, maybe in future lines, with the knight and queen teaming up here, and also it might come here, in someday. But anyway, so I play knight e3, and this move is a mistake, and the reason for that is this knight needs to go to b4. Even if black trades the pieces for it, trades in this position are a little bit better for white, because white is kind of a little bit like cramped with his pieces in a sense. Um, like if the queens were off the board, then castling wouldn't be so much of an issue. So then, white might be fine. But anyway, so e3 here, knight e3 here was a mistake. And after he takes, um, and he played knight e7 here, again, you can see like all of black's pieces are coming here, and then it's just going to be bad for me, because I'm playing without a rook. He's also playing without a rook, but my knights are like, he also has a bishop for a knight, so bishops are better than knights. So again, this is just the quality of his pieces are just better than mine. So queen b5 here, threatening mate on e2. So I have to defend it. And at this point, we actually ended the game, because my opponent needed to like go somewhere. And we figured like if he wants to do some more prep work with the French, we can always play a game later or something like that. But anyway, just to show you a little bit about how this game might have continued. So what I'm going to show next is just some sample lines recommended from Stockfish. So here, knight c6 attacking the pawn. Here, I just played a random knight move, but like even if I play like h4, like the engine is recommending, it doesn't really matter, because the idea here is bishop b4. Your black is threatening to win that pawn, and after something like this, black is going to win this pawn. And black has a bishop for a knight, 2-on-1 majority. Um, White has to spend some time, getting his king to safety, and that's kind of the reason why Stockfish is giving this a whole negative 5.8. So yeah, that covers it up for this game. And just to review, so the main takeaways were the differences between bishop b2, d3, and a little bit about how black can attack on the queen side. And yeah, that's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please subscribe, comment, and like.